What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Fred. So, anyone who follows me on Facebook knows I've been talking about a big surprise that I had, and today is that day. So, we are going to the Punk Talks charity show in Philadelphia. I am really excited. There's a lot more to it than that, but for right now, let's take a little drive, pick up some friends, and head on down to Philly. And then, the surprise. Stick around. It's gonna be awesome.
Skip the funeral. When God dies out. God dies out. Skip the funeral. When God dies
Alright guys, welcome to Punk Rock Fred's first feature episode. I'm here with Sheridan Allen from Punk Talks. How are you doing today?
I am a little frazzled, but doing well. I'm excited. It's a good day.
Good. So, I know my channel is mostly a hiking channel, so a lot of people aren't going to know about Punk Talks. What Punk Talks is for everyone else is they provide mental health services for musicians and industry workers while educating the fans at the same time. As I've spoken about a lot on my channel so far, hiking saved my life, and what I do not talk about much is that music kept me holding on until hiking brought me peace. So what she does is really important to me. So yeah, I just found this opportunity. I reached out to her to interview her, and she said yes, so here we are.
Yay! Here.
So, I know the story. A lot of my followers don't know the story. Where did the idea for Punk Talks come from?
Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, so I was 24. It was I was 23. It was my final semester in college. I had a contract, so I was already ready to start a new job. And I really was not involved in like any type of music scene growing up. So I was definitely having like a quarter life crisis meltdown. Like, this is my only opportunity. Like, I'm getting old. All these people are getting involved. It was like the height of the emo revival and all of that. And I really wanted to be involved in music, but like I was about to get my degree in social work, and like that's my skill set is helping people. So I was like, I don't, like what can I even do in the music industry? Like how could I get involved? So this was kind of at the time that modern baseball was like really hitting their like biggest stride in popularity.
Okay.
So at that time they were all still in college, and I was in college too, and I was just like, that must be so stressful. Like that's crazy.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking like that there's nothing that really offers them any support while they're on the road. Like touring is stressful and it's kind of a grueling lifestyle. When you add that on top of being a college student and like being broke, it's just a horrible combination. So I thought like, okay, well here's something that I could do, and I really didn't know anybody, and I just tried it out, and here we are.
Awesome. So tonight we're celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Punk Talks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How has the organization evolved from concept to where it is now?
I mean, it's been pretty bananas. For a really long time, like a year, it was just me by myself, like just some random girl trying to like listen to people through email or video chat or whatever. I was not a therapist, and I was not promoting my services as therapy or anything like that. More just like an ear for people. And like I wasn't really involved socially in the music industry, so at first, like as an outsider coming in, it was the concept was really embraced. And it really took off. We met a few people that really believed in our cause, that really helped us get to where we are today. A lot of bands really kind of jumped onto the idea. We did have at first we had some pushback about like, well, I don't know if this is necessary, or like we don't really need something like this, it's not our place to offer it. Mm-hmm. But we really got past that, and then at our first birthday party that we had in Hackensack, New Jersey in March of 2015, we announced our first ever therapist, Ryan Kelly. So since then, we have, in the 2 years since then, we have grown to, we have a staff of 13 volunteers. We have 5 licensed therapists that volunteer for us to provide free therapy services to bands all over the country. And we are in the middle of forming our first ever board of directors, which is a process. But we have some really cool people on our board. Like we have Seth from Top Shelf, Henderson Cole from The Alternative. We have Sarah from Vest. We have a lot of really awesome people that are really, really identify with our mission and really wanting to help us continue to grow. Our therapists serve people in bands like Tancred, La Dispute. Those are 2 bands that have recently spoken about using our services, and it's been pretty crazy, our growth so far. But I'm very excited about it.
That's great. So, where do you see Punk Talks going in the future? How do you see this evolving?
I hate this question because I since the beginning I've always been telling people like it's really more about where Punk Talks takes me, and I never ever dreamed that I would be where we are today, like that I would be in Philly. Even the first time I met Phil, I told him like how much I hated Philadelphia.
I used to say that all the time, and then I lived here for a while.
Here I am, but realistically, I would really like to see us be able to take Punk Talks on a full-time scale, so I could quit my day job. And
absolutely.
Right now we have a team of dedicated volunteers, but some funding would be great. We are launching our accountability workshops this year for people who have been outed as abusive or problematic, offering rehabilitative services and transformative justice to their victims. We have some really cool ideas for the future involving dogs, which is going to be sick. And we have some other projects that we're working on that I can't tell you about yet, but we are, I guess we haven't announced it yet officially, but we're going to be putting on a South by Southwest showcase this year, and
It's awesome.
yeah, we've got some big goals, but really we're trying to take it one step at a time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I mean, this is one of my questions. You briefly talked about it. I know you've recently announced some of your board of directors.
Yeah.
So how did that come to be? Did they approach you? Did you approach them? How did that?
Well, really, the idea of forming a board of directors was presented to me by my therapist, Sheridan. She rocks. Because just being the director of Punk Talks, I'm under a lot of pressure. I, too, am a volunteer. I have a full-time job. I'm in grad school. So I really am running this in my spare time, just like everybody else is. But there's a lot of pressure on me to know what I'm doing. But like everyone else, I'm kind of figuring this out as I go.
Yeah.
So the idea of a board of directors was presented to me because we have grown beyond the point where I feel like I have a firm grasp on everything we're doing. I'm only a social worker, so I don't know anything about accounting or marketing or PR, any of that stuff.
Absolutely.
So the idea was to assemble a group of individuals that could fill in the gaps, and guide us in areas that I'm not very skilled in or totally have no idea what I'm doing in.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, my operational staff, my 13 volunteers and we really talked about ideal board members when we started discussing the idea of it, and we had a list of people that we wanted, but a lot of people did reach out to us. Like Henderson, we headhunted him, but Seth from Top Shelf actually reached out to us, and we've done some work with Top Shelf in the past too. I really tried to seek authentic diversity. I really tried to choose people that are experienced in their field, but young enough that they don't get caught up in tradition or things like that. But also, people that I trust and people that have championed Punk Talks for a long time. So like Sarah from the Fest, she has been in our corner since day one. And Henderson too. So being able to add them in an official capacity has been really, really awesome for us.
That's great. So, I mean, you work with a lot of bands. Tonight's show, for example, you've toured with Free Throw and You Blew It. That's where we met. That's where I met Phil. What's that been like?
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Did they approach you about that type of stuff? Did you reach out to them?
No, I have never, ever been asked to go on a tour by a band. And I say that with a lot of intention because I think that bands today are doing a really poor job of showing that they genuinely care about the advancement of non-men in the music industry. We get a lot of talk about how diversity is important and how the music industry doesn't care about women. The number one way that I've been able to see that is that people just don't take Punk Talks seriously, or they pass over us for tours. Like this year in 2017, there were several tours that we asked to go on that we were turned down from for pretty much no reason. And a lot of, I think the bands are so like in Free Throw's instance. With the You Blew It tour, really, I just asked Tanner, hey, how do you feel about Punk Talks coming along? And they were really, really grateful to have me. They were like, that was a really awesome, my favorite tour that I've ever been on. They really welcomed me with open arms, made me feel like I was part of the tour package and not just like someone in the way. And they really valued my work and what I was doing as a professional.
Yeah.
So touring has had to go on the back burner for us for a little while, just with moving to Philadelphia, and that took up a large chunk of my year and
Absolutely.
also my savings.
Yeah.
So touring's expensive, but I also have a full-time job, and it's hard to, I have a full-time job in my field of social work, so it's hard to take off a lot of time at once to do like a full tour or even any tour. So that's kind of why it's been on the back burner for us, but we're really hoping to get out there this summer. So if any bands are getting on the road, hit us up. But, we really, when we are touring, we try really hard to offer services to the bands and the people attending the show, a listening ear for anyone. We can do like crisis referrals for people, talk to them about the realities of seeking mental health treatment, and, that therapy is really not as scary as it seems. And, we think that therapy is for everyone, and that everyone in the music industry should have access to it without cost. So, talking about our mission and how we can further that is, we get to spread that far and wide on tour, so that's always really, really great for us.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like a lot of musicians, a lot of people use music as a form of therapy.
Yeah.
And why shouldn't the musicians have the same courtesy extended to them?
Absolutely. Well, and when you're on stage and you're, kind of reliving your most significant traumas in front of 200 people or more every night, like, that can be very emotionally draining. So, I think that the industry really is doing a disservice to its artists by not offering, more holistic services. And, record labels, I think, are a really good conduit into, that accessibility of treatment. Like, record labels can very easily funnel their rosters into Punk Talks. We're doing something similar with Welcome Records right now and helping them monitor an email account to make sure that no, shady shit is going down at their shows, and that we're there if something does happen. Because I think a lot of times people, the law of DIY isn't a professional social worker or therapist, so people need that, I think. But it's, I think that the industry really owes it to, artists are more creative and more productive when they're happier and healthier. Like, that's common knowledge, so.
Absolutely.
It's time to get hip.
Absolutely. So with everything going on in Hollywood right now, it's had a big ripple effect into the music industry. In your opinion, what can we do to make the industry a safer place for everyone?
We need to just unabashedly believe survivors. Absolutely. It is never anyone's place to be discussing the legitimacy of someone's trauma. I think also that venues need to learn how they can. I think it's really, this is something we've been working on for a long time, and working with an organization out of Chicago called Our Music, My Body, to kind of create like a toolkit for venues and bands about how to make their shows safer spaces. Being more inclusive and intersectional. Making sure that you are able to recognize your privilege as a musician, especially if you are not part of a marginalized category. I think using that privilege to go out of your way to make your shows safer and to make sure that no one is going to be put in harm's way at your shows or otherwise is important. But really, I think early intervention is the best method of rehabilitation, and follow-up services, making sure that people have peer support and access to services, I think, is the way to go. I think that problematic behavior has deeper roots. It's not just about being a shitty person. So using transformative justice and using therapy to get to the root of the problem and heal it and, learn to prevent it in the future is absolutely the way to keep any industry safe.
Awesome. So if people wanted to get involved with Punk Talks, what can people do to help?
Well, we have, follow us on the internet, absolutely. Punk Talks on every social media forum. You can email us, if we, I'm sure, have some specific projects coming up that we could always use help with. We also have a Patreon that people can sign up to become a monthly patron, which is hugely helpful. Like I said, we're a group of volunteers, and everything we do is for free. So we're working on getting our 501c3 right now, but all of the money that comes in goes right back out into providing services for bands. We don't get any of that, but I don't know. There are lots of ways. I think probably the easiest way is just, to destigmatize mental health and destigmatize treatment and go to therapy because it really is for everybody.
There's absolutely a stigma on mental health in this country.
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing and just putting it in everyone's face is absolutely incredible. Neil Hilborn has a poem called "This Is Not the End of the World," and in that he says, no matter what you're feeling right now, there's a mathematical certainty that someone somewhere is feeling that same exact way. That is not to say that you are not special. That is to say, thank God you are not special. And for someone who struggled with their mental health, that was such a breath of fresh air to me. Because for me, the hardest part was feeling alone all the time. And, you know, I would have people reach out to me frequently and tell me, you know, you're not alone. And it didn't feel that way.
Right.
And I think what you're doing is beautiful. So thank you for coming out with me today. And I wanted to announce to you and to all my fans that I'm using my hike as an opportunity to raise money for Punk Talks. So I am pledging to raise, we're going to start with $1,000 and see where it goes from there for you guys.
Okay, I just did my makeup, so I'm not going to cry at this bar right now, but that really means so much to me. Thank you so much. Emotions!
Thank you for coming. Hey, guys. Here with Corey Castro from Free Throw, and we're at the Punk Talks charity show. So I just want to ask you, dude, why did you guys decide to play this show, and why do you think Punk Talks is important in this scene right now?
Honestly, as someone who suffers from issues with my mental health a lot on a day-to-day basis, Sheridan from Punk Talks and Punk Talks in general has been someone that has really helped me out through the entire time that I've known her and known the organization. Anytime being a person that tours, you know, more than half the year, anytime I need something, she's always there for me, and the organization is always there for me. And whenever she asked us to play the benefit show, it just seemed like a good way of giving back, and like being able to show up and do something cool for an organization that I truly believe in and I truly think does the right thing for musicians and their mental health.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, dude.
I know you guys don't get to see the behind the scenes shit a lot, and I know you don't get to see like how it goes, like for being in a band and being on tour. But Punk Talks and Sheridan and everybody that works for that place has done a lot for all of your favorite bands, and I don't know if you even know it. So thank you for being here. This is wonderful. I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad this show is sold out. I'm not fucking with it.
up, guys? Here with Phil and Tom. Just finished up with the show. It was a good night. I'm excited for everything that's coming. It's gonna be a wild summer. Have a good night. What up, guys? So, I know this has been a long video. I haven't edited it yet, but I know it's going to be a lengthy one. So, thank you for sticking around. And a huge shout out to Sheridan from Punk Talks. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. When I reached out to her, I had like 4 followers. I thought there was no way that she was going to say yes. And then she said yes, and I was like, oh, crap, I've never done anything like this. Now I actually need to make it happen. And then I got the idea to raise the money, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make that happen. Then I reached out to Tanner from You Blew It. Like, hey man, this is my plan. Can I use one of your songs? And again, I thought there was no way he was going to get back to me. And within a few hours, he was like, it's an amazing idea. You can absolutely use our song. And I was blown away at how supportive he was. So Tanner, thank you. All of You Blew It, thank you. I was talking to Andy for a little bit at the show, and he seemed so supportive and so genuinely interested in what I was doing. And same with Josh from the Wonder Years and all the guys from Free Throw, and just everyone I've talked to has been so incredibly supportive. It has absolutely blown my mind how supportive everyone has been. I just never did I expect that. So the link for the fundraiser will be in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Happy trails. So I am 90% positive I left out the best info from this weekend. I can't believe I forgot while I was up at the res before. But, so right before I left to interview Sheridan on Friday, I got an email from Zach Davis at thetrek.co inviting me to blog for the Trek this upcoming summer while I'm hiking. Honestly, I'd applied for it a few weeks ago, and I thought there was a long shot of me getting it. So I'm super hyped and excited to share that with you. And everything about this hike is just changing as it gets more real. Not changing in a bad way. It's almost as like things are just becoming more meaningful. It's everything's aligning in ways I could never have imagined.